Next is Ed Powell.
In case they don't, that's a letter there. There's a letter that went out that was actually had to be one of the delegates in Keysgate, and they remained anonymous. But that letter, they had a meeting. Mr. Rosen has bailed on the golf course, and I told you that from the beginning he was going to bail. And look, you can read the rest of this thing. He will not refurbish the golf course as promised. He has a right to build 20 units per acre, being grandfathered. D.R. Horton doesn't want the golf course. They don't want to own the land. Lennar has no reason to build the golf course, and they don't own the land. Well, let's talk about another little thing Mr. Rosen's good for, other than his PAC and his financing all these three candidates. Tens of thousands of dollars he's throwing dirt all over the city. And if you don't believe me, folks, go to True Homestead blog. It's on Facebook. You'll see this letter, plus you'll see all the other trash that Mr. Rosen and his PAC have been sending out about three of his little pets. Okay? It is like Mr. Gretz has had a rant here a month ago. I'm sorry I missed it, about throwing up and vomiting. You want to talk about vomit? Let's talk about this election. It's absolutely ridiculous that these people, they don't have a record. They got to go out and trash their opponents. Why don't you have a right? Why don't you step on your record? Why don't you say something you've done for 4 years? They don't have a record. Okay, Mr. Guzman, I want to thank you. You're the only guy on this dais that comes back and answers me. I appreciate you doing that, and I hope we can stay in touch as you retire into whatever you're going to do after you leave here. We're going to have some new faces, and I hope to God that we get a council and we get some people that have some sense of honesty and transparency. And Mr. Shelley, you ought to answer your emails. You never answer your emails.
Can I take a point of privilege?
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Powell sends emails on a continuous basis. Unfortunately, for years and years, and this book right here shows them, homophobic, pornographic, racial emails that received on the city server that I asked to get. The reason I don't answer his emails is because I refuse to respond to somebody that sends this kind of crap out on a daily basis. And if anybody wants to see it, come open it up. It's public record. And I would refuse to answer a gentleman that sends this stuff. And if I was to read it, open up these pictures, I guarantee you there's not one person in town that would not be upset and appalled by it, other than Mr. Powell, who sends it out on a daily basis. So thank you. I'll put it right here. I'll put it right there for the public record. Anybody that wants to see it can come up and see what he sends out and why nobody will respond to his emails. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, for clearing up why none of us respond to Mr. Powell's emails or probably open them. Next is